green light.
Sorry,
man.
we just got the green light.
Yeah.
Just now.
Very unofficial.
Yeah.
You got
Have
long
we ever
hair.
been official?
You produce comedy and sell acid.
Oh, I'm sitting right here.
You're Mark Chair.
I was fucking sitting in Sam's lap.
You can.
All right.
Shame, man.
He might be the only guy that can support you.
Yeah, I know.
I've never done a
Sam,
test during the podcast recording.
No, you did.
I usually feel like a giant around everybody, and Sam walked in, I cowered in the corner.
Yeah, I immediately felt like a small quarterback. Like I felt like I was about to get cut blocked down.
Like, I know you're big because your feet are up right there. I'm over here.
Yeah, you can't.
Jesus Christ, what's in
You should get a phone book to sit on. I wear 16s, man.
Good Lord, you only get those at Ross?
Yeah, and I can buy them online, East Bay. It's really easy to find basketball shoes and football cleats. I got like 2 pairs of dress shoes. I always got one good suit and one that I shouldn't wear anymore.
One good suit and one stand-up suit.
Yeah, one suit that's toast. And then, I do a podcast called the Tarp Report with Sam and Jess. I really like it. And my co-host, Jess Anderson, is like super skinny, super small. And I told her, I was like, I gotta go get a new show shirt. And I'm like, it's a pain in the because I gotta go to this special store
The DXL.
called DXL. And this skinny, out of touch weirdo is like, that is so cool, you have your own special store. As opposed to like regular sized people. Yep.
I was a fat kid growing up, so DXLs were in my childhood. And it's such a mean store, but I remember there was one time, like, a Greasy Gordo-esque type dude was walking in, and I walked him, go to the biggest part of the room, look at his shirt, look down in sadness, and leave. I looked at my dad and I go, where do you think he's going? He goes, probably the morgue at this point. If he can't find a shirt at the DXL, he's not home.
They used to have biggest, tallest sections of more stores. You could go like Nordstrom's,
Totally.
Red Mire.
I used to go to Old Navy to get fat people clothes.
Yeah.
And then every person had the same Old Navy shirts. You see the same guy, like, yeah, I have that Captain America shirt too.
I got shirts like that. I got reels that go viral online or whatever. And other fat people are like, no shirt, son. I'm like, yeah. No, it's like a secret code. It's like being like the Illuminati when you get super big. Because we all wear the same clothes.
I do like how your shirt's kind of cut off right at the
You know what? People keep saying that. Like people online are like, "You need a bigger shirt, buddy," and I'm like, "Hey, man." Like,
You laughed at it.
yeah, dude. I like it. Like people, I think people think my career is farther along than it is. And then I have like all this excess shirt money to just go to the shirt store.
That's how you know when you made it.
Yeah. Like I can just go to the shirt store and like have my assistant like pick out 10 designs. That's not how it works.
You said your co-host was your assistant too, right?
She's my manager, yeah, Jess Anderson, one of my favorite people in comedy, one of my favorite people in the world. I get, she's not real, she's figured it out, And I have a booking agent that's ain't worth shit. His name's Michael Glassmeyer.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah.
But also, I'm open.
Yeah, he's a bum. He's got like a really bad learning disability, like dyslexic. I don't know why I chose him to help me with like he sends me to gigs and he'll like write stuff down and the 5s will be backwards. I'm like,
I had to do that with producer Blake. I mean, like 45 episodes in, he finally tells me he's dyslexic.
Oh,
For
you're
45
dyslexic?
episodes, I'm just
Yeah.
yelling at him every time he a word, and I'm calling him
That's
wrong.
mean, man.
Yeah.
When I called you a bum earlier, I didn't know you were dyslexic. I just thought you were bad at producing.
Ableist.
No, I'm not ableist. I just don't like bums. Not ableism. That's realism. And I don't mean homeless folks. I'm not talking about my unhoused neighbors. I mean bums. Get it together.
Well, speaking of that, welcome to the Dingbat District podcast, run by the #1 bum in DFW. Thank you so much for watching another episode. This one's going to be an amazing episode if you haven't already caught on. We have a guy who's touring all over. He's going to be in Oregon the 24th, Redding, California the 25th for a recovery event, Denver the 30th, and he's going to come around because we have DFW people. Check him out at the Looney Bin in Tulsa, Oklahoma on February 27th. He's got an album right now on Spotify and Apple Radio named Round Trip. Y'all get ready for the hilarious Sam Miller. This is going to be a very fun episode. I know, it kind of...
Dude, I just lost. We were doing good. I don't think you should ever introduce anything. I thought we were vibing out. I didn't even know, like, I was so in the moment. And then you told me, you reminded me about my career, and I'm like, calm down again. You're talking about these shows that ain't worth shit. Oh my god, it's terrible.
You're too professional. You need to calm down.
Well, someone's got to come to these shows that aren't...
No, nobody goes. Nobody goes. It's just me and my thoughts. Dude, I did a show in West Virginia and there was like 13 people there, and this lady left because I made fun of a Dairy Queen that she really liked. This is real life, dude.
My Tammy works at that Dairy Queen. You take that back.
No, they were mad, but it was a weird Dairy Queen. They had cauliflower at this Dairy Queen, and I was like, man, like this country's falling apart. Cauliflower at Dairy Queen, and she gets up and she like starts leaving, and I'm like, hey, like. Usually I wouldn't say anything, but there's only 13 people here. You're like 7% of the crowd. And then she was like, you don't even deserve these people. I had so much fun.
All that for cauliflower, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, and it was a cool Dairy Queen. I wasn't even making fun of it. I was just talking about the differences. I don't really make fun of nothing or anybody with my history. I don't make fun of gay folks, black folks, none of that shit, man. I love people, man. It's cool. I don't really do that. I know that's real popular these days, especially in Austin.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you know, whenever I'm in Austin and somebody says something really racist, I'm like, what if I don't care what you think about black people? You know?
How was Austin other than that?
It was cool, man, because that's what's Austin's funny, because there's like half the comics are great and half the comics are just trash. And they moved there because their scenes that they came up in didn't want them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're like,
We
I don't get booked. They
yeah.
can't handle my realness. And I'm like, oh, dude, you're so real. I can't believe how brave you are to explore all these topics, and we're like beaten to death in the mid '80s. Like comics twice as good.
No, tell me why you should get to say the N-word as a white man.
Yeah,
Tell me why you
it's
get
just tiring. But then there's also like, I think that pendulum too. Like, I just think people lose their own perspective. Like if you want to talk about race, like talk about race, but don't pretend you know about race. If you don't know about race, shut up, dude. Nobody's cared.
Some of the best advice I ever got was from you last time you were here at Reno's. And we were sitting there talking, and I don't remember what the context was, but it's something about how some people get way too in their heads about people want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
But then you said, nobody knows who you think because nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
So you have to talk about yourself.
People start doing impressions of themselves doing comedy. I'm like, I'm gonna lose my mind, dude.
Yeah.
Because I've fallen into that. Because the hardest thing to do is to be present on stage. The only way to be present on stage is to get used to how it feels being on stage. The only way you get used to knowing how it feels on stage is to be on there all the time for years and years and years. That's where I'm at right now. It's cool. Like, I like being on stage, and I don't get freaked out by people when they leave because I make fun of the Dairy Queen. I don't care.
I don't think you're going to have that problem here. I think we'll be all right at Sharks.
Yeah, there is Dairy Queen.
There is one homeless McDonald's down the road, which is very fun.
What's a homeless McDonald's?
McDonald's been almost taken over by the homeless.
Oh!
The bus stop is also right there.
I
So
thought you meant like the whole McDonald's got kicked out of the building I was living in.
We call them McHomeless.
Yeah, because I've heard that corporations are people.
Are you really scared wherever you start threatening them there?
Why is this cord so long?
Yeah, Blake, what the hell?
Yeah, where are we gonna go, Blake? Now you gonna go take a shit and keep on.
So anyway, guys.
We're a mess. This is what I'm talking about, my career.
okay, so let's stop talking about your career. Anthony told me that you're big into magnet fishing, and that sounds cool as hell. You found
Yeah.
cool yet?
Yeah, dude. Everything I find is cool. You know what the coolest thing I found magnet fishing is? It's myself. No, I love magnet fishing. You know what sucks, dude? Is it like comedy has taken over, and I don't. There's a lot of different parts of me that are folded into this now. And if I'm at home, I'm playing with my kids, trying to get them dialed in so they can get their GED someday.
Yep.
And And you know,
What any
like,
man wants for his kids.
I'm so focused. You know, when I'm home, I'm focused on my recovery. I'm focused on being a good husband, and I'm focused on being a good father. And then when I'm on the road, I'm focused on like trying to take the roofs off of places. Like that's
Also, I've seen you post a lot about your mom. It seems like you guys are really close.
My mom lives below us. We have like a split level house, and she lives below us. Yeah, she's a big part of my life, man. Still, like, 'cause we really like. My dad died when I was 12, and like that brought us together. And then I started smoking meth and stealing her stuff all the time, and that pulled us apart.
It tends to do that, yeah.
Yeah. And then I got sober again. My mom had to get therapy after I got clean because she would have panic attacks if the phone rang after like 9 p.m. because she thought it was the sheriff's or the hospital or whatever.
And did you get to travel with her and take her on the road?
Yeah, man, I do take her on the road. You know what's funny is she was with us last time I was in Texas. Wait, no, not that time, but she came to Texas with me because she wanted to buy Polish pottery in San Antonio. There's a place outside of San Antonio. She loves Polish pottery, which is weird because she's not Polish.
What makes it Polish?
Pottery, yeah.
You know, old ladies, they just fall into these traps.
My mom collects lamps.
Yeah, see, it's like
Figurines or something.
Yeah. The same way people with the fentanyl, Polish pottery, just see them out on the street, you know, and they're just holding a saucer. Like, I can't believe they took my baby away. Now I have a saucer. That was stupid. I can't believe it.
As my mom gets older, I'm trying to see what she gets, but she's only 50, so we'll see what she ends up collecting. But
Your mom's only 50? Wait, how old are you?
28.
That's cool.
My dad's 49, will be 50 this year.
I'm in the same boat. My mom's about 50 and she's not. I can't remember that.
Are you 28?
24.
24?
Yeah.
Oh my God, 24 and so much more.
Yeah. That's what they used to call me back in the
That's what
day.
they called it. No, they didn't, because you were 23.
All right, you talk.
23 and you gotta pee.
Let's just keep 22.
22, you gotta poo.
I was thinking I'm a Jew.
20. Are you?
I think I am. I can
No, you're not. That's one thing I know about Jews, man. They know.
That's how you know I'm just 100%.
I met a lot of Jewish. You know, it's weird. I didn't grow up around a lot of Jewish folks, but I met a lot of the entertainment. It's pretty neat. I like it.
I don't really. I mean, so whenever I go up northeast, obviously you run into like acidics and everything. I don't really see a lot down here, which is kind of weird. But, like, when I also grew up in a small town in Texas.
Yeah, I heard. What I've heard is that in Texas, there tends to be a lot more Jewish folks around, like the Houston area and stuff like that. There's actually a really great. So the guy from my record label, Dan Schlesinger, he's a Jewish fella. And, last time I was in Houston, he told me to go to this great deli. Like Jewish delis are sick.
Yeah, they are.
They hook me up.
What's that old bitch Hepburn joke when you put a whole cow and 2 pieces of crackers in a Jewish deli?
Yeah. But it's dope, man.
But I'm gonna trust big guys whenever they say that's good.
You gotta trust expats and fats.
Speaking of that, you've had Texas barbecue, then, yeah?
Man, you know what's so cool? I got into Austin, and the guy messaged me like a couple days before. And he works at Terry Black's. Yeah, dude, he hooked it up. It was really cool. I've reached the level of notoriety where occasionally people give me nice hotels.
Yeah.
And I meet nice producers of podcasts like Blake. And occasionally people give me free food. And, man, it was really cool.
How was that case of the meat sweats happening?
You know what? Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I wasn't doing good at it. I don't know. It's like just soft meat and like creamed corn. I was just like, you know, like that slime my kids play with. It's like I'm slime. Like funny.
Are you from Washington?
Yeah, I grew up in a little town called Spanaway, which is outside of Tacoma.
I was born in Oregon.
Oh, okay, what part of Oregon?
So right over there. Oregon City, Oregon.
Oh, I know Oregon City. Yeah, with a little waterfall there on the Willamette.
Yeah, I moved away when I was like 6, but I'm from that area.
Yeah.
Have you, your family's out in Washington and all that?
Yeah, man. I got family in Ohio. I got family in Florida now.
Nice.
A lot of family in Eugene. So I got a brother and a sister that live in Eugene. Do a lot of comedy in Eugene.
Cool.
My main thing before like the internet stuff started working out for me was I-5, man. Like, ooh. up to Bellingham and then down to Medford. You just kind of keep going farther, and then I book these tours, and I got an anchor show where I know that I can make like okay money, and then I just build around it and just pray. I was trying to explain it to people, like if you're newer comics and listen to this podcast and stuff, and they're trying to work the road, is you gotta find, like, you gotta have that you gotta have a show, like you gotta have something where you know that you're gonna be solid. But too many people, man, it's so hard to gauge. That's the mistake I see people making, is they jump the gun and they're like,
Yeah.
because you have to get spots that you're not ready for to get to the next level.
That makes sense.
But you don't want to get a spot that you're not even close ready for. You know?
Yeah.
Like I see cats sometimes, they're like, oh, I'm doing like 45 minutes. And I'm like, that's weird. You got 20.
Well, and that used to be the thing back in the day. Like, I listened to a lot of old school New York comics and their podcasts and all that. And they were talking about they had to take those ones that they weren't ready for because they didn't have a whole lot of comics.
Yeah, man.
So now,
Yeah.
there's so many comics of people trying to be comics right now that if you don't have 45, you're done, you're done. Like, it's black.
Well, it used to be that you could, if you had like a really good 20 minutes, but there's not very many comics. If you had 20 minutes, you're a feature. You're getting paid. Like you're making middle class income. You're on the road. You're doing it. You're getting picked up by some headliner. And I don't know, everything. I feel like we live in chaos world, like in comedy now, and that goes for me too. Where I feel like some of the clubs are really good at promoting. Other ones are just totally dependent on you. I don't know what my draw is going to be in different areas. You know, we did good at Reno's the last time I was in town. We got people out, but I think a lot of that's on you. Because a lot of times, man, and you know, people don't want a flyer, people don't want to do this, and then the clubs are mad because you don't sell tickets, and then I'm frustrated because the clubs aren't producing, and social media is that's the biggest mess of all, because Meta and all these companies, X and what's the TikTok ByteDance or whatever.
It's not the bite that does tomorrow.
Yeah, no, they're not. It's just, I don't think they're going to shut that down. But anyway, their whole thing is they want people to take in content and watch advertising. And my whole thing is I want them to come to live events.
Yeah.
And we are in a dance, okay? It's a dance where they want my content. I want them to give me reach for the posts that aren't just the video of me doing things. You know what's crazy, man, is I get so many messages. Dude, like watch, next week they'll be like, dude, when are you coming to Dallas?
Yeah.
I'm in Dallas right now. When are you coming to Dallas? Right?
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy is I guarantee you there's 50 Sam Miller fans tonight are going to be watching my clips while I'm in their town doing the show because I can't tell them about the show.
Have you heard of Punch Up Live?
What's that?
It's the newest website that's kind of starting to take off where you put, it's like YouTube where you put everything on there for free, and then the person watching it, all they have to do is get that special you hear in the mail, and then once you're in that area, it'll send an auto email to that person saying,
I'll write that down.
I think it's called Punch Up.live or Punch Up Live. I think Steve Burns started it, or he was the first comic to start with it, maybe. I don't think it's his company, but I know a bunch of people are switching over to that because YouTube's not helping. It's just where they're storing everything.
And you're absolutely right too when it comes to promoting shows. I mean, everything I learned about promoting shows, I learned from Noah just because he actually got me into comedy and he got me into like promoting and everything. And a lot of it does fall on promoters where you're making flyers, you're pushing out email lists, you're doing all these like groups on Facebook and everything. It's a pain in the ass, but at the end of the day, especially smaller venues, the smaller venues could give a shit if they sell out or not. Now, clubs are obviously a little bit different, but I'm not going to name any clubs, but most of them in the Dallas area at least are not going to be pushing too much. They're going to be relying on you, and they get mad at you whenever you're shitting.
That's the thing is, all these clubs are relying on people that are already fans. It's like they don't care about getting new people whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, it's a business. Like I also I get I have beef, and I get your guys' beef, but I also get where they're coming from. Like, they're looking at, like, cost-benefit analysis.
Yeah, they're looking at
And it's like, oh, I can give this dude 90% of the door, 70% of the door, and he's gonna get 300 people in here, and each one of them's gonna have at least 2 drinks, you know, and then we're gonna get them out, and then we'll do it again. Like, the money's the money, and there's nothing can be done about that. But I think it's important for us as comedians to recognize that we have the power, and as well as independent producers. Like, if we had more time, I bet we could get like 100 people out in Dallas. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I could do well if we had more time.
Of course.
And then what is that worth for this bar? And like, what's your cut? And you're also on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and then also with Jerry Worthing tied into this too, very successful. He's going to have a lot of fans here tonight too. Man.
Yeah.
Half of these people are going to be here to see Jerry Worthing Longmire, man.
I was going to ask you about that. You're traveling with them, and it seems like you guys are pretty cool and like close. Like, how do you know Jerry? How do you know?
You know what's funny? Our fan base has brought us together. So initially with my social media, it was like my Facebook that popped off before everything else. And like, because that's what I started doing. I was like, man, if I don't give this a real go, and so I went full time 3 years ago, and I was like, man, if I don't get after it, I'm gonna get left in the dust. All right, so I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna post 3 videos a week. I'm gonna make them good, and I'm gonna put them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. You know, and I'm just gonna see what happens. And it was Facebook that popped off. So,
I do remember that.
It's been working. That's how I found out about you. About 2 or 3 years ago, I saw a viral clip. Were you talking about trucker?
yeah, I was
It's a
talking about
trucker.
pretending to be a semi truck.
Exactly. And I was like, man, who the hell is this guy? And then a few months later, you were in Dallas.
Yeah,
Anthony got you
Reno's.
to work Reno.
Yeah. So it was funny. I remember when that first happened. I was actually at Legoland with my family, and I got a message from a dude I went to high school with, because it wasn't even on my page when it first popped off, because that was a different city.
Oh.
You know, that was for the Humboldt Jungle in Chicago, which was this awesome underground show in Chicago that some influencer got shut down because they were like, secret spots in Chicago. And I'm like, it ain't secret no more. And now this big shut it down, dummy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that popped off. And then now it's cool because like my Facebook kept getting into trouble. Whenever that happens, it makes me focus on my Instagram. And now my Instagram is doing good, which is me. So now I get all the young people. Hey.
I was gonna say, I first found you from a doom scroll on Facebook when my SLP was hitting, and now I'm getting you randomly. I mean, I follow you on both accounts, but I'm still randomly like scrolling through like all doom spiraling to like Louis C.K. daily, or watching Joe Kids, and then it'll be the next video. So like you're actively getting out there.
Yeah, I know they're after. You know, I'll tell you something else. If comics are listening, you guys, is that with the internet stuff, you know, you get a couple things to pop off. It's really cool. It feels good, and you're like, oh, this is it. It's not. Like you really gotta get like 7 to 8, even more things. Like, because if people see you once, it's like, oh, okay, like,
Yeah.
whatever. Second time, they're like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. But if you get 4 or 5 times when they see you, they're like, oh, Sam Miller, man. Like, maybe when he comes through town, I'll miss it, and then I'll message him 2 days after.
See if he responds.
Yeah.
I've been seeing your clips. I'm gonna order me a Mountain Dew tonight for sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
That is a great clip.
Dude, that was so, you know that I ripped that.
I can tell it was great.
Yeah, you can tell I'm riffing because I laugh at my shit.
Yeah. And you were like, that was a good one.
Yeah. I always do, whenever I get a joke to hit, I can go to town and then I'll go, whoa, that was a Dallas premiere.
I remember I just saw a clip the other day. He was in like a Helium or a Zanies.
Helium.
And, yeah, and it just went off, and you were like, that was it premiered just now. That was great.
Yeah.
That was a fun clip, man.
I got one. The one I got in trouble on Facebook because I was talking about smoking meth out of light bulbs. And this guy in the crowd was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, you can smoke meth out of light bulb." Really? And I'm like, yeah. But you know what's crazy? I did this riff. I was like, because I used to do this shit. I would have like an oil burner, like the glass dick and a pickle that she smoked meth out of, and I would trade it for more speed. And then it's funny, like I used to do that, and then I'd be like, "Hey man, can I use your pickle? Because I don't have one."
That's crazy.
I was hard up, dude, and I had no sense of like tomorrow, But so I talked about that on stage, and I was like, "You ever trade the thing you do drugs with for drugs?" And dude, it got flagged, and Meta said that I was promoting drug use, and then or trying to sell drugs, and then I got annihilated for like 90 days. But I was like, and it bummed me out. But I just kept posting, right? And then, like 2 weeks ago, it like lifted, and because I had all these videos like ready to go,
started taking off.
It blew up all of a sudden, and it made me so nervous. I was like nauseous. I'm still not into it. You get used to not having it. I was like, oh, I just it's so stupid.
I did have a question I wanted to ask you. Like, you seem like a genuinely good, nice guy. I'm curious how you react to like hecklers or somebody disrupting your show.
I don't get a lot, man. My fan base is pretty dope. Like, they're pretty cool, and I think also my material, my size, and the way I tell jokes, and also the quality of shows that I'm doing. And
Yeah.
dude, a lot of heckling comes down to like honestly, like poor producing, poor promotion, poor room management, poor lighting, bad sound. All like any of the things that make a crappy show, I think.
Because they're not engaged fully.
Yeah, they're not engaged, and
You just.
I don't know, when I get them, a lot of times, man, it's kind of like that 3 strikes deal, like, oh, you screwed up, I'm gonna let you know that I don't really want that, and I'll be nice. And then the second time, I'm like, hey man, just a reminder. And then, yeah, dude, I come at people, I've seen enough to know when it's time to it's time to take the knife out, and like, go after people. And I felt some brutal, dude. I had a girl one time, and I don't know why, she yelled at me, and I was like, you need to stop talking. She was like, I don't like you. And I'm like, I don't care. She was like, you remind me of my dad. And I'm like, why? Because we're both disappointed in you.
Okay, see, that's good. I just can't see you being like brutally mean to somebody.
Dude, I've had some, man. I had a gal one time, and she wouldn't shut up because and it sucks because like, there's the other thing about hecklers, like they're people, man. You might be catching a good person on their worst day. And like, I hate it when comments are like, they're the worst, they should be shot in the street. And I'm like, Jesus, dude, it's just a Trump.
Yeah.
It's just one outlier.
Yeah.
And there's 99% of the rest of them are having.
What's funny is there's some hecklers, what they are is they're so engaged in what you're doing that they can't separate themselves from you. And it's like, they're like, this is a conversation. I love this man who's talking with me.
We were on a show last night, and we had one of the nicest hecklers of all time. He was genuinely having a great time, but like, during your hosting set, you're like, dude, this isn't a conversation.
Yeah. I was literally mid-joke, and he just like started asking me questions.
Yeah.
Why do they
Like
call you
nobody else.
Shark?
Why, like nobody else was here. Why do you like sharks, man? I was like, dude, I was in the middle of a joke.
The way you responded to that was my favorite. You're like, I wish it was something cool, like my arm got bit off. I'm just a child. Dude. Like, I just missed one back.
Yeah.
And they,
I was able to do something with it, but yeah, that was weird.
I think a lot of it comes from like especially just crowd work clips now. Because it's like people that have never really been to a
That's
comedy
actually
show
true,
before,
yeah.
and they think like, oh, this is a comedy show. It's not. It's part of it. It can be whenever it's, we bring it to you, but you don't instigate.
and it's the one thing they're posting, but that's not happening the whole show, even with crowd work comics. Like Matt Rife is doing crowd work for 10, 15 minutes, probably.
The same thing with Nate Jackson. Nate Jackson, it's like, only so much. I think a lot of times, is when I'm, usually I'm headlining, and man, I can get pretty frustrated if I have like a feature or a host that's doing a bunch of crowd work.
Yeah.
It's like I've literally had to go up on stage and be like, hey, like, I don't want to talk to you guys. Like, I don't say it like that.
And write a duet.
Some of those old school comedy rules, like to not be like filthy as a host or a feature, like I don't like. Sometimes it doesn't matter. It's like, but man, if you're doing comedy and you're way dirtier than the person you're opening for, that's not good. Right?
Yeah.
That can be frustrating, especially if you're not getting laughs.
Well, yeah, because that guy that's not dirtier than he was what drew the crowd.
Yeah.
Those were.
Yeah, they're not there. Just, it's cool. I actually got to open for Jerry last night. He opened for me in Austin, and then I opened for him last night. I take a lot of pride in that, man. I worked clean, no F-bombs, couple, and I didn't do any sex stuff. And it's like he doesn't care. Like, he knows. I don't know, man. That's it. I think we talked about this at the beginning of the podcast. It's kind of like misunderstanding about what comedy's for. Like, people are so into like breaking these barriers and like pushing culture forward. Like, it's like, dude, no, you just really want to say the word.
Yeah.
It's just like, I get it, dude. You want, like, you don't like when people tell you not to say something, but you saying a thing that's become unpopular is, I don't know, that's not.
Yeah, I saw you talking on social media about people doing stuff just for shock value, and like you made some great points with that.
Yeah, and
a lot of those often come.
Yeah. Well, I think, let's talk about it, man. Kill Tony has
Ruined everything.
no.
No, it's made a good thing, but it's also made a bad thing because now everyone thinks that's what comedy is.
Yeah, it's been great I think it's been great for comedy as a whole, and I think it was already at this new height, and I think with social media, then it pushed it even up a little higher. But I think it's been terrible for you. If we give you
100%.
I think so.
I mean, it's been great for one of our friends, Drew Dinkins. He's a friend of us,
Yeah.
and it's been great for him because now he's like a regular and everything, and
Yeah.
he blew up, and we're really happy for him. But he's been doing this for what, like 8 years or something like that.
I think
now?
someone, maybe a little less than 5, but something
Yeah,
like that.
somewhere around there, and that's good because he has enough material to sustain a career. Whereas if you go in, you have a hot minute, but you're only 2 years in, you're not going to be able to sustain anything, man. Like,
And he was getting brought out. He got brought out 7 or 8 times that one episode, and then every episode after that for 3 months.
yeah,
So I mean, that's literally what, at least 15 minutes.
yeah.
That you said it was.
So it's, but I feel like a lot of people burn too quick. They're still Tony, and that's a big problem.
Well, it's become the equivalent of like Carson's Couch, which
Yeah.
used to be it, or the Comedy Central half hour. And as long as we do this, there's going to be people with money that are going to do that. Another thing too, man, the politics in Austin too. Like, that we can talk. Like, I don't talk about politics on stage, but like, I'm starting to open up about it a little bit more. And like, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm an ex-con. Okay. So, like, I'm not really feeling the vibes. Like, I don't like Trump. I don't like Biden. I think all that shit is corny.
Yeah.
And to see like this right turn and everything, like, oh, Joe Rogan is like, he I can't understand. It's like he used to love Bernie Sanders and now he's a Trump guy. There are 350 million reasons why Joe Rogan likes Trump. Okay, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, absolute power grips, absolutely. And I'm not saying Joe Rogan's a bad guy because I know he's not. I got a lot of friends that are very close with Joe Rogan, and I hear he's amazing to people.
Yeah.
But like, dude, this is what it is.
I mean, just literally, he always said he'd never have Trump on his podcast, and then later he had Trump on the
I know,
podcast.
man. It's the same thing with the TikTok ban. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, they've been saying TikTok was going to ban every year around Christmas for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, you know who lobbied for the TikTok ban? Meta.
Yeah.
Like, you know why Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels are pushed so hard? Because they were competing with TikTok.
Yeah.
It's the same way. I see comics, they'll post YouTube links onto their Facebook page. And I'm like, I don't think you understand how this works, dude. like Facebook isn't going to push you to YouTube. Their number one competitor for ad dollars.
No, not gonna happen.
It's great.
That and going back to, I mean, just politicians in general. I don't trust anyone that thinks they can do their job.
Yeah.
And like, I've said it for a long time, but there's a reason people that build rocket ships don't go up in the rocket ship. They're behind a glass shield. And it's in some dummy from some pasture.
If we got President Sam Miller, what are you changing?
Dude. First off, no thank you. I do get a lot of votes for sheriff.
Wait, do you really?
Yeah, a lot of people are writing me.
Are you allowed to do that as an ex-con?
I don't know.
You could be a president.
I don't tell them to do it. They write me in.
That's crazy.
They think I'm gonna clean up the streets. And I kind of like them the way they spicy street. That's the point.
It keeps the rent down.
Yeah, you guys saw the guy jacking off on 6th Avenue in Austin. And I turned and I looked at him and he stopped. And I was like, that's the thing.
I am the law.
Yeah. Like, and then I looked at him like,
At least he stopped. So courteous.
You want to help?
Every time I'm in Seattle, I just see them fucking cleaning hills.
hey man, that confetti, man, it's there, dude. That's what the sport is right now.
Was that around a lot whenever you were using?
No, and I wasn't into the downers like that.
No.
I used to mess with the Percocets and whatnot just because they were around, and I was in that world. But, no, I was methamphetamine. And honestly, I like cocaine more than methamphetamine. I guess I like a bargain more than I like cocaine. It's just some stuff, man. You know, I don't think people understand. Like people, they're like, oh, that person's homeless because they did drugs, but it's not like that. It's a lot of times it's the other way around. Like I did drugs and come out to survive homelessness.
Right. If I had to sleep on the ground, something's gonna make this awful.
Bro, if I did meth, I could stay up at night and sleep during the day, man. It's scary falling asleep at night.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Especially up in the Northwest when it's cold as fuck.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Did you ever have a dog companion that was homeless with you?
What's up?
A dog companion?
Uh-uh.
That was so bad with those dogs.
there was a girl I was really into. This girl, probably shouldn't be saying her name on podcast.
We'll bleep that point.
No, like, that's not do that. Like, you have to bleep stuff
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes, but yeah.
So we say the R word a lot. So
Yeah.
Especially if it's in the first 15, 20 minutes of the podcast.
It's
I noticed,
very gay. Yeah.
I noticed you guys are hip to all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, this gal, it was funny because she was really into heroin and I was into meth. And you know, yeah, well, here's the thing though, and I think this is important to talk about, is that like mainstream society doesn't own love. You know, like it's like, you know, when you talk about folks that are like it's like, oh, like these movies, and it's like guy meets girl, but then sometimes the guy meets a guy or girl meets a girl. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, oh, this banker falls in love with a prostitute with a heart of gold. It's like
True romance, baby.
Yeah. But sometimes the tweaker falls in love with the junkie. And man, we really had it, dude. Like there was this thing, we both were doing other graffiti, and we were just loving on each other. And it was really awesome. But you know what the suck is, she was a klepto. Like she had like a condition. It wasn't like stealing stuff to get means or whatever. And I'd go over to my friend's house and she would steal their like Norel pills. And we'd be walking away from these house parties. She'd be like, check this out. And I'd be like, that's Scott's. And like, Scott'd be like, you can't bring her around anymore. And then one time we were making love in the front of this house. Like I lived in a barn and she lived upstairs in the barn. Not in the barn part, the loft. Yeah, there was a goat downstairs. And
This already sounds like dreams. Like it sounds like we were.
but I went into the main house and I put on, we were listening to Michael Jackson, we were listening to Thriller, okay? On vinyl, okay? No, it was on a CD. It was on a CD. And we were making love in the front yard in the sunshine under this tree. It was amazing, right? But then the CD started skipping on that stupid the Paul McCartney song that I don't like. That's the song. That album's great, but that song, I hate that. They like talking to each other. This is a true story. I went into the house, man, like we were in the middle of the act, like I was inside of it. And I was like, I'll be right back, you know. And because I'm not gonna have sex with this. And I went into the house, and dude, I came back, like she was gone. And I didn't see her for like 6 or 7 years. Until after I got sober, I saw her. It was like 2010.
Wow.
And like she had a kid, but I did the math, and I'm like,
I've also got a belly tattoo. Son!
yeah. I think about her all the time, man, because there's 3 women I love, man. This girl in Portland. I got blooper out again.
There you go. Maybe it's the job part if we love it.
This is honestly one of our better for not having to bleed as many things out. So
good.
Blake's fine.
Yeah, good influence on people. My bad. The first girl, the second girl. No, I'm not going to say it if I want to. I just remembered it. Yeah, my wife, Brittany. You know.
Okay, I was hoping the third one was going to be your wife.
Yeah.
In Sweden.
I would be funny if I listed 3 other women and
Yeah.
like, it's so weird that I'm married to a woman I do not love.
I was waiting for that.
Did the first girl ever tell you what happened?
What do you mean?
Like why she ran off?
Yeah, why she disappeared?
I think she didn't want to, you know. I was the best. It sucks when you get dumped by a gal kleptomaniac with like a needle hanging out of her arm. It's like
Was she cleaned up too,
sort of, man. It's complicated.
Yeah.
You know what, too, man? Like, I love being sober, but just because you're sober doesn't mean you got your shit together. I wanted to die my whole first year sober. It was so hard, dude.
I was such an asshole. Like I
Yeah.
had to go sober before I was 21 because I was drinking. I was like a like
Yeah, it's no good. Yeah.
I was just one of those preachy pricks who's like, you gotta go sober, man. Your life's going down the shit. And I'm saying that to a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm such an asshole.
I don't tell you know this world. Like, I think folks that don't have an issue with addiction, they should just work on making a world worth getting sober for. Like I got friends of mine, it's like they want to get sober or whatever, and it's like, well, what do I do now? It's like, oh, I'll go get a job at like Dollar Tree and like just like date some guy from Les Schwab or his tire shop. You guys don't have Les Schwab out here.
Yeah, discount tires.
Yeah, you gotta go and date the guy from the discount tire and like, play Nintendo.
If you can figure out control.
Try to stop your kids from eating too much processed foods. It's like, life.
How long have you been married?
13 years.
13? Nice. It's a good run.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You make it sound like it's ending. Hey man, know something I don't, man.
Is that your first wife?
Sharks bang them out. Yeah, I never get married. Sharks bang. Damn it.
That's why he asked if you got family up there. He's trying to keep a lookout.
Yeah, he's like, I grew up in Oregon City, and then I currently have a place in Tidewater. Just moved in.
So your closest family's in Ohio? Okay. All right.
You can have that.
No, but thank you again for coming back, man.
Blake, are you married?
No.
No. He said no. He didn't have a microphone.
No. He doesn't give himself
Are any of
a
you guys married?
No.
Nope, never been married, no kids.
You dating anybody?
Nope.
No, that's fun.
Single.
What about you?
I haven't had a girlfriend in 10 years, dude.
Man.
Yeah.
But he's had a
I've been sleeping around, but like I haven't had a girlfriend. Like
Yeah.
an actual relationship.
All right.
in 10 years, yeah. Wait,
I'm like, I don't want him to think I'm not having sex.
I don't want them to think I'm not having sex.
That's the thing is, Anthony hasn't had a girlfriend, but he's dated some babes. So he's
Oh,
found some
cool.
babes.
Dude, that rules.
I get down with the MPs, bro.
Yeah.
Don't bother
Some
me.
asterisks in there.
Dude, love it. Dude, I really mean it. You know, that's another thing in comedy. Like I said, man, I'm tired. Like, I am never going to tell anybody else what to say on stage and stuff like that. Like, you know what's crazy, man? Like, I spent a lot of time locked up. Went through a lot of stuff. People really like to talk a lot of shit about people they don't know anything about. And I used to be that guy. And then when I got sober, there was like a bunch of gay people that helped me. And like, I was like, wait a minute. Like, you guys probably want me to do gay stuff with you. But they were just dope and they helped me. And then I like, and then it's funny because I used to say a lot of words that I don't say anymore. And a couple of them would tell me, they'd be like, dude, I just want to let you know, when you say that word, it bums me out. And I was like, oh, I don't want to bum you out, you're cool. Yeah, I just stopped saying it. It's whatever. And that's the same thing with art and whatever. Like I get it. If you want to say it, I would worth it. You know.
Yeah.
Like because it does, man. Like specifically the term, I even like this. I'll just let's say it, the term.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people on this earth. That's the last word they heard while they were getting deep. Same thing with the N word. You know, it's like, all right, man. Like I guess it's hard to get stage time in Austin. So,
Yeah.
say it.
You move down there because you think it's a bastion of free speech.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I can say all these words, but no, that's not how that works. So you still don't get stage time. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I've got a friend from childhood that I'm not gonna say anything like that, but after college we reconnected, and he came out to me that he was gay, and like he was really worried that I was not gonna like him anymore, and he told me that after like a couple weeks down the line, and that made me feel bad itself. I was like, man, we've been friends since we were 5. Like I didn't think that I was putting that off, like that kind of energy that you wouldn't feel comfortable enough to tell me, and then. I was sitting there thinking, like, no, dude, I just thought you were weird this whole time. Like, we've been friends since we were 5, and you were weird as fuck. But now you're just gay. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It was my cousin. It was pretty obvious. So my cousin, I have 2 cousins that are gay, and one of them came out to my dad.
That's good they're not local.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they second or third cousins? So they don't have to
We're not together, asswipe. But one of them came out to my dad, and he was in his late 20s, and. Like we always knew, like even growing up, I always knew. Like, it was pretty obvious, you know. And he told my dad, and he was saying, "I just don't want you, to tell me I can't hang around my sister and Anthony."
Yeah.
My dad was like, "Zach, you were doing dance routines to Britney Spears whenever you were 12. We knew. Like we've always known. Like it's not a big deal." But I realized that I grew up in a family that. I'm privileged to grow up in that kind of family where they're very accepting of all that, especially with Chicano culture and also Southern culture.
Were your parents religious?
No, not really. I didn't really grow up religious. They kind of just told me I grew up.
Just, I mean, knowing that and knowing you, I figured that would have been tough. But then you said they were cool and open with everything.
Yeah, my dad always told me, he's like, if you're gay, it's no big deal. I was like, I'm not. He's like, yeah, we still are.
But come on.
Yeah, like, 10 years, really? Come on. Like, if you are. I'm like, no, I'm not. It's not.
Before I look up your search history, come on.
Getting distracted by the fact that Blake has matching tripods. Did you get him in like a 3-pack?
No. He's a professional dude. I stole him from directing and movie shooting. So he's a screenwriter guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He wrote a movie that did.
Yeah, that bombed.
I wasn't gonna say
He's
it.
gonna let you say it.
But he asked me to be in the movie. Or no, he hired me to be in the movie from Facebook.
Yeah, you had
That's
audition.
why. That's why I bombed.
Are you filming tonight, the show?
No.
I keep telling him to get into that, but he's also writing right now, so he's got his head just start writing scripts.
Dude, I got so many cool movie ideas. You could talk to me.
Yeah, definitely.
I got this idea that, they have like robot truckers. They're like, the trucks are they're gonna take all the truckers' jobs. Then they also have like sex robots, right? And like, so the truckers lose their jobs because the robot trucks take over. And the sex workers lose their jobs because the robot sex workers take over. But then the robot sex workers, now there's no truckers anymore because they're all robot truckers, and robot truckers have no sex jobs. Like you never like those Waymos, like they don't have to stop and like have sex. Then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the robot sex workers, the regular sex workers, and the truckers fight against the robot trucks. And it's like
In all this way.
Yeah.
This sounds like a
like Mad
precursor to all
Max.
Transformers.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
with
somebody
sex
goes
workers?
back in time.
Starring Sam Miller.
Yeah, I had this other movie too. I wanted to make a movie called Ghost Fart. Because you know how they say ghosts smell like sulfur?
They say that?
Yeah. And I think, because ghosts are like made out of air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they get around by farting. And so you have like a seance, right? And you like have an empty chair. And then you go, oh, you try to scare the kid. And you get a jar behind it, you know.
Trap him inside.
And you get the fart in there.
Do like Casper.
Dude, why the fuck are you doing comedy? You should be making movies. This is all gold.
It's so much work.
Ghost fart free, dude. As long as you let me have a part in one of your
I'm not ready to be in Blake's world.
Kevin Smith started.
This is Blake's world right here.
I can't afford 3 beds with a tripod. Freaking overhead. Because a tripod costs low.
Yeah, dude, Paxton does well, so we'll be all right.
No, this is all Blake's money.
He has a house, man.
I was bequeathed the house. And she just died. That's all it was. I put a nose in my
Did your
great
grandmother pass, actually?
Oh yeah, but she was dead before you even got to the house.
Oh, okay.
She was 96. Like it was.
Okay,
It was at
yeah.
the point where I was asking her how she's still
Right
alive,
in the
and
hand
she
of the
was.
sheet.
And now she's just farting around your house.
There are some noises that I can't explain.
Farts.
That's just me taking shit.
Probably.
I had
It's
this
just
joke
echoing
that
through the
didn't
pipes.
work, but my mom's pretty old now. And I go, I know my mom's old because all the farts are silent now.
Old
It's
people
not
are.
You know what that means?
I don't think people like that joke because it makes them think that I'm thinking about my mom's bubble. I'm not.
Kind of, but not
I
really.
know exactly what you mean because my grandma doesn't say a shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's always
Here's my mom. She just walks up and down the stairs. I don't know what it's about stairs.
pushes it up. Yeah.
Pressures.
I don't know, mine are quiet, but I think I just. Like, I'm not 100% sure. Breaking down.
Look like lock hands trying to stop him.
You know how people say he's got an old soul. You get an old asshole.
Yeah.
I had hemorrhoids, but I think I used positive thinking. Yeah. I think about my whole life.
Mr. Hemorrhoid,
Oh, wow.
please go away so my asshole
Yeah.
stops seeping, please.
I think that could work.
Sometimes when I'm old, I just think about like lava. And I feel like way more.
The mind's a powerful thing.
Yeah. Positive thinking. I'm like, what's the opposite?
I mean, you definitely are able to stay warmer just because, like, whenever we say we get cold down here, I know it's not shit to you.
we're calling first calling
Yeah.
fat.
Yeah, look at service. Man, I saw a service dog at the airport. It was a dog. I'm like, what is that dog station? Service dog. That might be a real service dog. What's that?
Trying to come down to the show.
Oh, he's here for the show?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it's about that time yet, but
Right. I was gonna ask you later. Are you okay with like animals getting down this show?
I'm here for hot fun. Do you guys got good food here? What do they got?
oh, we're here, yeah.
The chicken tenders are badass. It's just the gochujang, whatever, the gochujang honey will light your asphalt on fire. I think that's how I got the hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids beware.
As long as the dog doesn't heckle Sam, we'll be good.
I had a dog.
Please stop.
You know, I used to have some wild times on the road, man. I've done a lot of bad shows. One of the shows, there was a dog fight in the crowd, like out of the bottom east.
Was it
Way northern California on the coast. It was like a stormy night. I'm in this dive bar, and people were yelling at me and trying to get on stage. And there was like this dog fight, and it was like I was working for this producer. He was like, "Dude, I want to do a show." And like this producer was working, like this dude could produce shows. And I gotta be careful what I say here. Yeah, we'd be working together for 3 days. I wouldn't see him sleep, and he'd just wearing his shoes the whole time. Like, the only time I saw him sleep was always wearing shoes.
So when you say dog fights, was it like Mike Vick playing dog fights?
No,
Or like two
no,
dogs attacking each other?
no. And there was also like a people fight too.
That one was quick. This was
Yeah,
MMA and a
because
dog fight broke out.
There was a gal, so I went to this place.
Yeah.
When you're out on the Oregon coast, where I went out there, and you'll see these big blue bins behind the restaurants. That means they're buying stuff right from the fishing. And I love clams. I get a bucket of clams, and I'm talking to this waitress, and she's really cool. And I was like, "Yeah, come to the show." And she was really into the show. And then this guy was like yelling at me, and then she got mad at the guy. And I guess they also have this other history, and they were trying to, I don't know why this is a boring story.
That's pretty
They were trying to fight each other, and Yeah.
In the middle of your show.
Yeah. And then the dog fought.
How early on in your comedy career was
That was like 3 years ago. It was like right after I went full time.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. Like I still have nights, man. Like there's nights where it's like getting a couple $100 in a room, and I'm just trying to get to the next deal. Yeah, my margins are slim because travel's so expensive.
Yeah.
It's hard, man.
I did have a question I really wanted to ask you. Like, I've traveled all over the country doing shows, but in like rock bands.
Yeah.
As people who are like aspiring to travel and do comedy everywhere, like what are the best and worst scenes that you've experienced or places that you've been to?
And I like a lot of times it's really neat to be in like a small town somewhere with like a really good producer. It's just like, I do this monthly show, it sells out.
Like in the Midwest or something?
Yeah, and maybe there's a chance you could do a door deal and make a couple $100 extra. But if you do like a really hot show out in the middle of nowhere, you make up that extra money in merch.
Oh, that's great.
That's all those people have here.
Yeah, man. Like you gotta own this deal, and you gotta be honest with yourself and where you're at, and you gotta find venues that'll be honest with you too and where you're at. Like it's funny when you see these comedy circle shirts. It's like, oh, I'll book for my friend here, and he's booking it. Then I'll book you. And you see them, they go from venue to venue. They don't produce at any place for longer than 4 or 5 months. There's always like one good show, and the venue gets excited. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. So yeah, I don't know if that really answers your question, but like, as far as areas, like, there's places I go just because they're really special to me. Like I work a lot of Savage Henry and Eureka. It's in the Redwoods. Chicago, I love Chicago.
Okay. Chicago.
Yeah.
Have you done like the Miami area? Because I've always been there.
Nope. And I have done Southern Florida, and nope. Tampa Bay, that was brutal.
Do you have like some Sam Miller hotspots where like your fans really come out?
Chicago, I do well in Chicago. I do well. Dude, the Midwest, I get to the Bob and Tom stuff.
Yeah.
Bob and Tom, and also just my comedy resonates. And also the Midwest is just better for comedy. Like,
So I hear like Minneapolis is like a big area.
yeah.
Well, what's next for you? Because Anthony had briefly mentioned earlier you might be doing a special or something like that.
I am. I'm recording my next special. March 8th in Astoria, Oregon. At the
Oh, shit.
Liberty Theater. Yeah.
Oh, it's already playing. Cool.
Hell yeah. Do you have a name for it yet that you're allowed to say or anything like that?
Different Jessica. No, I have all these jokes where I talk about like this girl Jessica, and she's like a hodgepodge of like what I dated. And then I get kicked out of this McDonald's and I girl named Jessica, and I go, different Jessica. I get back. Jessica always seems like the most fancy girl name.
Is that a theater that you're recording at?
Yeah, man, it's a beautiful theater
That's
too.
awesome.
That's one of the reasons we picked it. I've worked there before. It's nerve-wracking. Everything's scary.
Is it very expensive to produce a?
My label pays for all the recording and stuff like that, but they get half the money. That's the way the deal works.
That's
And they
amazing.
sell me stuff at cost. It's cool. I love my label. I'm on Stand Up Records out of Minneapolis. They know.
Oh, cool.
I need to go back to Minneapolis for that. I did a fucking show there.
Dude, I love,
Swartzen says that's amazing.
I love the story behind why you recorded your first special where you recorded it.
Yeah, man.
That was, I mean,
Where'd you record your first one?
I recorded at Capitol Theater in Olympia, June 10th, 2008. My last night, kind of like, I mean, I was still homeless after that, but like, my last night getting high and like really being on the streets, like sleeping outside. That's where I was, Capitol Theater. I woke up under a tarp. There was a homeless lady under a tarp with me. We were doing tarp stuff.
Tarp stuff.
Yeah. I have a joke about it, and it's on the special. And I'm like, and in her defense, like I was homeless too, so like it'd actually be weird if I woke up with a middle class lady under me.
Wait, so you woke up under a tarp and then recorded a comedy schedule?
Yeah, like
Dude, that is crazy.
2008, and then I recorded the special 12 years later. 13 years later. Wait, how long? I don't know. It's all like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Something like that. Over 10 years later, I recorded my comedy special. It was really cool.
Well, you've come a long way since the tarp days, my friend.
Oh yeah, man. Look at me now.
Sharks.
In the basement. You could do some basement stuff tonight.
Pop up comedy club.
Basement stuff, tarp stuff, those are about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really appreciate you guys putting me on the podcast. I appreciate you guys putting this show together last minute.
Dude, yeah.
Thanks for
It's
coming.
very a lot of fun.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see you and Jerry tear it up there.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I really appreciate it, man. I was really flattered whenever you reached out. And
You're my guy in Dallas, man. Congratulations. You're gonna get tired of it.
no, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
I'll
see.
hit you up if I want to.
No, yeah, I got you anytime, Bill. Got you
Are you
anytime.
guys gonna do some tarp stuff later? Or?
Oh, you got me a nice ass hotel.
Oh, yeah,
We can do hotel room stuff.
Hotel stuff.
Yeah, we'll
He
do
takes his
hotel
tarp with him.
stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's my new thing, is I buy a tarp in every city and I leave it there for the next guy.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I got gifted. I was like, I got a deal. It was like tarps for like $2 because I had my record release party and I covered the whole front of the stage at the Capitol Theater. Tarps.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then I gave.
That's Doing your part.
This one's a 40 by 40. That's like a 3-bed, 2-bath deal.
Oh, yeah.
Well, awesome, man. We're about out of time anyways. So if you will, go ahead and plug up your social media so people can find you at home, including yours.
Find me at
and,
home.
Find
Yeah, so can you say your address right now?
Yeah, I'm in the West in Dallas, Texas. Well, I was about to say my address.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm really dumb, dude. Like it's like my brain is set for like making jokes and nothing else.
We actually get you the doctor's
Yeah, Sam Miller comedian on Instagram, Sam Miller comedy on Facebook, TikTok, Sam Miller comedian. Website, sammillercomedy.com. Tickets to all my upcoming shows. I'm going all over the place.
Hell yeah, man. Anthony, Noah, we all go ahead and plug up y'all's social media as well.
Hey Ramos, R-A-M-O-Z on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook, Anthony Ramos.
You can just look up Noah Shark Robertson, or you can Google Swimming with Sharks Entertainment, and you'll find my shit.
Hell yeah. And you can find me at pbailey_comedy and Dingbat District Pod on all platforms. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We have a new episode drop every single week and new clips every single day. Other than that, thanks for coming to watch another episode. Bye.
Spay neuter your pets. Love it. Bob Barker.